It's your boy Superman 2000, excited and pumped. I'm in the fight mobile, man. Now, Brock Lesnar blows a positive on his drug test. Wow, I'm surprised. Not Brock. No, I heard that Cannabis Hills hooked me up with the tip. It was late in the night and he just got me a few lines and hooked me up. So I went back and I was thinking, I remember watching Brock Lesnar in all of his interviews, and as soon as the reporters started asking him about steroids, are you on steroids? Do you take steroids? He would cut the interview short and just walk away. So now I'm thinking, oh, at first I was like, oh man, this guy, he's really offended because he doesn't do it. He's so offended that somebody would think that, and that's why his feelings was hurt. It's a deep spot with him because he's highly offended because they're accusing him of drug use and he's innocent. But now looking back, I realize what happened. That joker, he knew he was taking the juice by cutting the interview short. If he ever got caught, he would say, I never denied it. At the same time, I never confirmed it. I never said anything about my steroid use. So see, he's leaving a back door open for him. If there's any kind of legal entanglement or publicity that make him look bad, he can say, hey, listen man, I never said I didn't use steroids. I never denied it. You see that? Interesting. And also in doing that, cutting the interviews short, he's sending a message to reporters. I'm a superstar, and if you want to interview me, don't ask me about steroids because your interview is going to get cut. Then you're going to have to go back to your editor and try to explain why you didn't get a full interview from a mega superstar like me. So if you want to get this interview, I tell you what, here's what you can't ask me, or it's not gonna happen for you. Yeah. So this guy was juicing all the time. Okay. Now Mark Hunt went in the ring clean, gave Brock a good fight, lost, and Mark Hunt is saying, hey, I want a half of that purse, the 2.5 million you gave Brock Lesnar because he cheated, or you could just release me from the UFC. You can just release me from the UFC. Just release me from my contract. And I'm thinking, why would you want me released from his contract? Yeah, buddy. That sweet Bellator money is knocking at his door. Exactly. So, at this stage, Bellator is going to take the gloves off. And I can tell you why. Whenever somebody buys a new organization, there is an adjustment period, a learning curve, so to speak. The new owners are going to have to learn and adjust to this new business that they just bought. During that time of the learning curve, if the person that's managing or the new people that takes over doesn't know what they're doing, or there's a paradigm shift, that adjustment period is where the competitor is going to have the advantage. So Bellator is going to take the gloves off and start going for the best of the best. Now, Rory McDonald has one more fight left on his contract. He's going to hit free agency. I guarantee you, Bellator is going to scoop him up hands down. The people who just spent $4.2 billion for the UFC, now they're going to have to come up with more money to retain fighters. Now you're saying, oh, well, the pay-per-view and the gate will do it. No, it's not going to work anymore, buddy. You're going to have to invest heavily in marketing to drive revenue. And then you're going to have to start guaranteeing some of these guys' salaries because they're going to roll to Bellator. See how that works. See how that works. So, good luck with that. Spend that 4.2 million. Now, back to business. So Brock Lesnar, they brought him in. They made every effort to give him the opportunity to fight juiced up. No drug test. You know? Let him do whatever he wanted to. Put him on the card. It's an easy $2.5 million for him. Now, huh? You get drugged up, you win, it gets reversed to a no contest, and you get $2.5 million. Now, am I pissed? Yeah. Because had the fight gone fair, maybe Mark Hunt would have won. Maybe not. But I did my UFC pick him. You know? Fortunately, it's a no contest, so that helps me. Either way. But I'm very disturbed. Now, John Jones, he's blown a positive on the B sample. Now, let me back up and explain what that is. So when they administer the drug test, they take 2 samples. Okay? The first sample is run through a battery of tests. And the second one is kept just in case the first sample was tainted. So John Jones filed the appeal and the first sample comes back tainted. Now, everybody is saying that John Jones used steroids. I'm not buying that. He's too arrogant to use steroids. Check this out. It's kind of like the reason I'll never steal. I believe too much in myself and my natural ability to work hard and make money. That's beneath me. So steroids is beneath John Jones. He believes too much in his natural ability. Now, if it was cocaine, then I'd say, yeah. But it's not coke. I believe that his sponsor and the supplement company that's giving him the supplements while he was doing all that training, something must have happened, got something in his body without knowing, and he wind up failing the drug test. And that's happened to 3 other UFC fighters already, and it was their suspensions were overturned. So the possibility is still there that John Jones' suspension can be overturned. Okay? So I'm not worried about that. But Nate Diaz said everybody is doing drugs in the UFC. Is that true? I don't know. I can't prove it. But I want to tell you about my experience with steroids, all right? Once I was training and I hurt my back. I went to the doctor. Said, listen, man, my back is hurt. Not only did I hurt my back, but I also tore a bicep muscle. That's a long story. I'll get into that. I did a Muay Thai roundhouse kick, and yeah, overdid it. Didn't warm up properly and hurt myself. So the doctor gave me the steroid, right? Now my recovery was spectacular. I mean, I took the tablets. I could do light training after, what's that, a week. The following week, I was still taking the tablets, and then I was almost at full blast. So I can't imagine guys in the UFC being bashed up, damaged, hurt. The human body natural healing process is not going to be able to accelerate that fast without a little help. You see where I'm coming from? These guys are getting damaged, and if they don't fight, they don't get paid. You expect them not to take drugs. Now everybody is giving Chael Sonnen a hard time, saying, Chael Sonnen, why are you talking about drugs? What gives you the right to have an opinion? But I tell you what, Chael Sonnen could have an opinion about the drugs, and here's why. He took dope. He got busted. He admitted that he got busted when he was doing his time. He said, fine, I did the drugs. I got caught, whatever. I knew what I was doing. He fessed up about it. And some of these guys, if they're doing the drugs, they can fess up about it too. But my biggest thing is this. And it sounds crazy. At first, I didn't think the drugs was a problem. If you want to train MMA and take drugs, that's your business. It's your body. You're going to mess it up. And I don't think the drugs, the steroid issue should be a problem. Because here's the deal. MMA is a sport, right? And in fighting, it's technique and skill give you the victory in combat. Let's say I walk into a 7-Eleven. Some jerk sees me. I'm dressed like a nerd. My glasses, my body language is non-threatening, and he thinks, yeah, I can take this punk. I'm gonna rough him up. I'm a thug. I'm this. I'm that. Okay. I don't know if that guy's on steroids. He could be thinking, hey, I have the edge because I take steroids and I pump weight. I'm just gonna randomly be a bully and pick a fight with this guy. Do you think? I'm going to say, no, according to USDA guidelines, you're not in my weight class because you outweigh me by an additional 20 pounds and you're on steroids, so I can't fight you. Blah. You think that's what's going to happen? No, this guy's going to try and jump all over me, grab me by the collar, toss me around. I'm going to have to hip toss him, use my elbow to break his eye socket and take him out, do some serious damage. So that is how combat is. Doesn't matter the size of the opponent, but you gotta find the edge. Now in UFC, I do understand that the weight class is fine. But I don't think the steroid is gonna give you the win. Let's check this out. Look at Chael Sonnen when he was steroided up. When he fought Anderson Silva, after talking all that smack, he beat Anderson Silva face in. He was all over. Anderson Silva is on top of him. And Anderson Silva, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, triangle choked him out and got the W. Technique, buddy. Technique. It's skill. Look at when Silva fought Daniel Cormier. Now, had that fight gone 5 rounds, I don't think DC would have been too happy. So I believe it's all about skill. Now, if you're going to be so aggressive about the steroids thing, have the same rules across the board. Don't grant exemptions to people. You grant Brock Lesnar exemption, but you took John Jones off the card. Are you serious? And they probably knew Brock was juiced up when they did that. He knew he was juiced up. He knew he'd have been busted. Just makes me sick, man. See, Bellator doesn't have the problem with the steroids use and that type of stuff. You know why? Hey, if you can fight in Bellator, you fight. If you get busted, you pay the fine or whatever and you get back to business. Case in point, Kimbo Slice. Case in point, Ken Shamrock. But Ken Shamrock wasn't busted for drug. He was busted for methadone, which is a clinical treatment for heroin addiction. So he's probably going through some serious drug use problems. Alright, guys. Tell me what you think about this John Jones blowing the positive. I don't think he did do it. I'm not supposed to be objective, but I don't think he deliberately would take steroids to beat Daniel Cormier. I think he's too arrogant. I think he's way, way too arrogant. Unless he's insecure and afraid deep down inside, he just put it on the front. I don't think he'd do that. Now, people in the UFC who I think would take steroids, I'm not going to give a name on this, but there's some guys who I think would do it. But I know for a fact, Frankie Edgar wouldn't do it. Because he has the heart of a lion and he wants to win. Chad Menendez, I don't know about him. This is tough. I guess I'm just trying to say I'm pissed with the Brock Lesnar thing with the steroids and the John Jones blowing because think about this. If you have fighters and you have a product that's constantly being damaged, you're going to have to find a way to repair it. And you can't keep doing all these pay-per-view events without giving the guys something to heal them up. How are you gonna rehab them in time to put on the next pay-per-view event. And some of the divisions aren't even that deep. Most of what we see in the heavyweight division is almost the same guys fighting each other over and over again. Okay, how many times has Cain Velasquez fight Travis Brown? Okay, so it's like how many times as Alistair Overeem fought, I don't know, Travis Brown. So the heavyweight division is not that deep as it should be. I understand that, but because of that, you gotta keep putting on events, and the UFC cannot afford to have multiple contracts with multiple fighters, because then they'll wind up with a roster that's too big. That's the reason why now they're trying to cut it down from over 600 fighters to 125 fighters. And what happens is that when they sign when somebody gets injured and they bring a weekend warrior, aka a Starbucks manager or a project manager at a glass factory, he signs the contract and he's locked up under that 8-fight contract, standard 8-fight, 6-fight contract or whatever. But are they gonna call him back after he gets banged up because he hasn't been training and their guy gets to look good and the show gets put on? No, they're not. They're gonna keep him on standby. He's not gonna be able to make no money. He's gonna be training and frustrated. So the UFC has to try to balance out all these guys, plus give them a little taste of fights every now and then. You know? So it's kind of like, well, what's really going on here? They have to cut the roster. And by cutting the roster to save on money and payouts, you're left with a smaller pool of fighters that keep getting injured. In my last video, I said a lot of these guys are fighting hurt, and it's bad for the sport. And it's going to keep happening. As long as guys fight hurt, they're going to have to take steroids to recover quickly. Okay, I know grandma's chicken soup is the best thing since sliced bread and pocket in pants. But if you keep fighting hurt, you're going to need some drugs to heal you up. Alright guys, I'm pulling in my driveway. That's my 2 cents from the fight here. Peace out.